G'day guys, welcome back to Hobby Spot NZ. My name's Matt, and today we're going to be looking at something that I haven't shown on the channel before, but Marvel Crisis Protocol. With the new core set coming out, I thought I would show off some of the range that I've already got, some of the teams that I've already built, and I thought we would start off today with looking at the Midnight Suns, which is of course my favorite faction so far out of the whole all the affiliations. Marvel Crisis is a great game to get into if you're looking to get into it. Has heaps of cool terrain options, a lot of good Marvel heroes if you're into that universe, and the game's really simple and easy to play too. So we'll start off here with the main man himself. We'll start with Blade. This is my 10-man roster. You've got everyone from going through. You've got Iron Man, you've got War Machine, Blade, who is of course the leader. You've got Moon Knight, Wong, Punisher, Ghost Rider, you've got Doctor Strange, Venom, and then the Amazing Spider-Man as well, who is that sort of a heavier threat. Spider-Man. So the first one that we'll take a look at here is Blade. Blade is probably one of my favorites. The model is just incredible. Took me a wee while out to figure out how to do some of the nice reds and some of the skin tones. I played around with the little hands quite a bit. I had them green for a start, and then I just sort of changed them to red, sort of like vampiric red. But he is like a really, he's got a leadership ability called Bump in the Night, and you can essentially move one. You can move with your entire team if you pay 1 power once per turn, I believe. So he's pretty cool. He is affiliated to being the leader. The next affiliated that we have is Moon Knight, and I went for a slightly different style on Moon Knight. Still the white cloak, but then a couple of gold accents, like kind of more Egyptian themed, and then a bit of a gold staff as well. He's a nice wee 3-threat. I should have mentioned before that Blade is a 4-threat, so he's a nice wee affiliated 3 splash. And I like he's got a really cool ability where he can change his personality and get different benefits. Next we'll go to Wong. Wong is kind of a automatic include when Doctor Strange is being played. He's just a nice wee 2-threat to throw in there. Really cool model. I went for a different art style on this one. And then the box, and it's just a nice wee sort of support character. We've got Punisher. Punisher isn't affiliated, but he is probably one of my favorite, I guess you could call vigilantes in this whole set. And he offers some really cool stuff like blows up terrain and can move around the board pretty quick as well with that leadership ability. So he's a great little include as a wee 3-threat. We've got War Machine. War Machine's very good on his physical damage, and he's a good little control piece too. Again, a nice little drop 3-threat, and I really like War Machine's model, and in general, I like his general abilities. Chucked Iron Man in there as well. This is the OG original Iron Man. He's, again, a nice little 3-threat. You can work him in quite well. Just with that a little bit extra movement does help him just get to some places that you can't normally. And again, if you're running a sort of a wider squad, a few 3-threats, then he does do the business. We've got Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider was a really cool model to paint. I've done metallic stuff there on the actual bike itself and run over it with a like a cherry kind of styled contrast, and you get those sort of nice blends, and the flame turned out really nice. Everything about the model is awesome. The only thing that I'm perpetually scared about is this thing here. Look how flimsy that is. Anytime this takes a drop, it's gonna break. So I think my fallback plan in the future, when that breaks off, because it will break off, I'm just gonna snip it about here somewhere and then put this up there somewhere, and that'll sort of give you the impression that he is about to throw it, but he hasn't quite yet. So when that inevitably happens, I will be doing that. Doctor Strange is your really good little mystic team player. Again, a little bit of a different style on his magical base there, magical ability that he's casting. Really struggled with the yellows. I think I got somewhere okay with them in the end. But yeah, he was quite a tricky model. It's spent a bit of time on him. I think my favorite character in the entire game, which is almost an include for most lists now, is Venom. So Venom is like he's a 4-threat, he's a beefy boy, just a tank, slow-moving tank. The Midnight Blade's leadership ability, just allowing him to move that little, that size 1, really actually gives him quite a big boost to his movement and helps him out sometimes because he can be out of range quite a bit. I did experimented with some techniques on his tongue there. Just see if I can get this on the camera. It might be quite hard. You can see it kind of looks wet. I just put some PVA glue as like a little outer on that, and it sort of gives it the appearance of it being slightly wet, which is quite cool. And to finish it off, I've got the Amazing Spider-Man. He's just a recent addition, but when I've been playing the Midnight Suns, movement seems to be the key for a lot of them, and Spider-Man being a long mover on a huge base there just makes him an awesome control piece. He is expensive, so you're not going to be able to, generally not going to be able to run him with Ghost Rider or sometimes you're not going to be able to run him all the time, but he is quite fun on those missions where you've got to get around the board pretty quick. So he is a nice little addition, and he does pack a bit of a punch once you get him going. Again, that little movement helps him too, because he generally has a bit of excess power now, which is nice. So the way that I generally play it is from about 15 points up, I try and run quite long, so I'll take my core. Generally, my core always consists of Blade and Moon Knight as my auto-include for pretty much every list. I've yet to paint Black Cat. She's a part of there too, and I think she would be a great addition to put in there. I'm not sure. I'm thinking about dropping Wong and Doctor Strange and just putting in people like Voodoo and possibly the original core box 2-threat Black Widow. She would be pretty cool to chuck in there. And we'll do something like along those lines. And then we can run cards like Helios Laser Bombardment and things like Siege of Darkness, which is really, really good, and Voodoo can just be a nice little control piece. I haven't quite splashed into them yet, but generally my core for most games is Blade, Moon Knight, and Ghost Rider, and then it's just a choice of what do I need for this situation. Do I need extra muscle? Do I need movement? Do I need Texas cards? It's a bit of a mixture, just depending on what I need, but that's my sort of first look into some Marvel Crisis. I probably will show you a couple more teams as we go through this, and I'll get on to talking about some of this terrain as well. So really cool terrain that's all been 3D printed. I've got a couple of examples there, and we'll show you that as well. So stay tuned, and hopefully we'll get a few more regular videos on this channel because we've been a bit sporadic with pacing, but we should have a bit of a lineup for you coming soon. So stick around, and we'll see you in the next one.